Happy Multichrome Monday and welcome to a new series called the Multichrome Edit, where I'm going to be making little custom quads that are all centered around a multichrome, and I'm going to be pairing the multichrome with 3 matte shadows. And this is to help you pair multichrome eyeshadows with matte eyeshadows. So for this first video, I picked out Ferric from Clionadh Cosmetics, and I created a little quad where I picked out a couple of different mattes, and I actually have 2 quads in case you wanted something more monochromatic to pair with the shade, and also one that has a little bit more color. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to approach future videos, if I'm going to do kind of 2 versions of the quads or if I'm just going to stick to 1 quad per 1 eyeshadow. I originally wanted to do 4 different multichromes for this video, but I kind of felt like it might be a little bit more clear and concise if it's just 1 shadow. So in the first quad, I have a light pink as well as a brighter green as the pop of color, and then I also have a more neutral dark brown because I personally always like to deepen up eyeshadow look, so that is to add depth. So what I'm playing off of is the tones in Ferric, which it looks pretty pink or magenta, kind of straight on. So that's why I chose the light pink matte. And then the reason I added the green is to play off of the shift in Ferric. So it does shift green at a harsh angle. So with this little quad, there's a couple of options already. You could do these 3 shades, you could do these 3 shades, and then you could also do all 4 shades together, which I'm going to be using all 4 shades in one of the looks. For the second quad, I wanted to really just mainly play off of the color you see when you look at the shade straight on and just kind of ignore the green shift. Even though multichromes have different colors throughout it, it is a shimmer shadow, which I think is honestly a lot more forgiving in terms of color theory and just how you're pairing it with different mattes. So I picked a mauve shade and then also a more magenta shade. So again, you could kind of use all these 4 together, 2 at a time, etc. You could use this one in the crease, this one all over the lid, this one in the outer corner. You could use this one in the crease, this one in the outer corner, and then this one on the lid. So I'm going to be also creating a second look with this quad, and I'm going to use 3 shades. Also, the tone of this deep matte brown is different from the previous quad. That one is more on the neutral side. This one is definitely warmer, and you could even go warmer than this. You could go a little bit more aubergine, and of course even more burgundy than this shade. So this would be the more neutral kind of quad. So I'm going to go in the crease with this shade, and I'm going to list all these Viseart matte shades and which palettes I grabbed them from, but this video is really meant for you to just use these tones as a reference to create your own kind of BYOP. You can pull in eyeshadow palettes or single eyeshadows, whichever you have available. I know not everyone has a lot of single eyeshadows, so I'm popping that into the crease, and I'm using the Refer 14 brush. And this one, I think I can definitely build up a bit more if I wanted to, or you could go in with a light hand and just really work on blending it out. And I'm going to be creating, for the most part, pretty simple looks in terms of like technique. A deeper outer corner, a halo eye, or an eyeshadow wing. Then on the outer corner, going in with this deeper shade. This is going to be, like I said, pretty simple look. Really probably only takes me about a couple minutes to execute. But obviously a little bit longer since I'm actually filming it and I'm talking through it, but otherwise it would be really, really quick. And then I'm gonna go back in with the Refer 14 and that other shade I used in the crease, and I'm just gonna blend that out here. And then going back in just a little bit more with the deeper shade. And now I'm gonna start to work it out a little bit more, and obviously you can take it out as far out as you would like or not, depending on your eye shape. So now I'm going to be going in with the shimmer, and I'm going to put down some Fair & Pixie Epoxy because this shade is definitely a little bit on the flaky side. It is a little bit more of a textured kind of formula, and I just like to have something for it to stick down. So I picked up Ferric, and you can see how it picked up a little bit chunky, and I'm just going to swipe it across. And over here and on the inner corner as well. And then I'm just blending it into the outer corner just so there's no harsh line. I definitely have still a little bit of fallout, but here's what that looks like on the lid. So it's really playing off of the straight on look, but you can still see a little bit of the grungy base in it. And so you can see it shifting into the green. At least in my opinion, I don't find it like abrasive or anything. Like, it doesn't bother me that it fades into the darker outer corner. Onto the second quad. So because it shifts to the green, I'm going to be putting the green on this outer portion and then deepening it up with the brown, which is again why I chose a more neutral brown, because that way it doesn't really clash with tones with the green. And then on the inner portion, I'm going to go in with the pink. So you're going to see mostly the pink. So you'll see this, and then it shifts to the green. So it's just essentially adding like a hint of the green so that it feels cohesive and purposeful, versus on this eye, it just shifts to green. So I'm going in with the pink first. You could also reverse it and use the green here and then the pink out there if you wanted to, for it to be a little bit more contrasting. So now obviously pink and green are now going to look great blended together. So we're gonna try to keep them pretty separate, and if they need to touch, they will just very lightly touch. So next I'm going in with the same brush with the green. I wiped off my brush, super vibrant green. So right here, they're gonna meet a little bit, but we're not gonna be really blending it. We're gonna be tapping it on. So they're kind of interacting, but subtly. And then I'm gonna take this green a little bit underneath my lower lash line as well. And then I'm taking the dark brown. You could also pair this with a dark green if you wanted to. So this could be a dark green, and then this could be a light green. I think that would also really flow nicely into the shift. But in this case, I wanted like a grounding color in here. And so I'm just blending that. Messed up a little bit over there because my hand kind of slipped and made a mark on the outer portion where I didn't want it to. But it's okay. I'm just going to extend this further out. I'm just going to keep it blending it together until I get it where I want it to be. And then again, just like on the other eye, putting down a tacky primer, which is the Ferric Pixie Poxy. Picked up Ferric on the Refer 28 brush, again, like on the other side, and we're just gonna put it on, swipe it on. Gonna have to go in with a little bit more and just blending it out into this section. And then I'm gonna use the side of the brush to kind of blend it up into the pink. And again, the further you take this out, the better, essentially, because not only you'll be able to see the multichrome shift more, but also that way you can really see the green kind of melting into the other green. So that's everything for this multichrome edit. Let me know in the comments below which shade you would like to see next. If there's any specific shades from any brand, obviously I will only be able to do it if I do have the shade. I hope you found this video helpful. Which quad is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And that's everything for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.